Supply Analysis Part 2. Fifth, Government Policy. Favorable government policies may encourage supply and unfavorable government policies may discourage the supply. Government policies like taxation, subsidies, industrial policies, etc. may encourage or discourage production and supply, depending upon government policy measures. Sixth, natural conditions. The supply of agricultural products depends on the natural conditions. For example, a good monsoon and favorable climatic condition will produce a good harvest, so the supply of agricultural products will increase, and unfavorable climatic conditions will lead to a decrease in supply. Seventh, future expectations about price. If the prices are expected to rise in the near future, the producer may withhold the stock. This will reduce the supply and vice versa. Eighth, other factors. It includes nature of the market, relative prices of other goods, export and imports, industrial relations, and availability of factors of production, etc. If all factors are favorable, supply of a commodity will be more and vice versa. Law of supply. Introduction. The law of supply is also a fundamental principle of economic theory, like law of demand. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principles of Economics, which was published in 1890. The law explains the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. Statement of the law. Other things being constant, higher the price of a commodity, more is the quantity supplied, and lower the price of a commodity, less is the quantity supplied. In simple words, other factors remaining constant, a rise in price results in a rise in the quantity supplied and vice versa. Thus, there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Symbolically, it is assumptions of the law. The law of supply is based on the following assumptions. First, constant cost of production. It is assumed that there is no change in the cost of production. A change in cost of production will affect the profits of the seller. Therefore, less quantity will be supplied at the same price. Second, constant technique of production. It is also assumed that technique of production does not change. Improved technique of production may lead to an increase in production. This in turn may lead to an increase in the supply at the same price. Third, no change in weather conditions. It is assumed that there is no change in the weather conditions. Natural calamities like floods, earthquakes, etc. may decrease supply. Fourth, no change in government policy. It is also assumed that government policies like taxation policy, trade policy, etc. remain unchanged. Fifth, no change in transport cost. It is assumed that there is no change in the condition of transport facilities and transport cost. For example, better transport facility increases supply at the same price. Sixth, prices of other goods remain constant. Prices of other goods are assumed to remain constant. If they change, the law of supply may not hold true because producer may transfer resources to other products. Seventh, no future expectations. The law also assumes that the seller do not expect future changes in the price of the product. Law of supply is explained with the help of the following schedule and diagram. Table 4.3 Supply Schedule. Table 4.3 explains the direct relationship between price and quantity of commodity supplied. When price rises from rupees 10 to 20, 30, 40 and 50, The supply also rises from 100 to 200, 300, 400, and 500 units respectively. It means when price rises, supply also rises. And when price falls, supply also falls. Thus, there is direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, which is shown in following figure 4.4. In figure 4.4, x-axis represents quantity supplied and y-axis represents the price of the commodity. Supply curve SS slopes upwards from left to right, which has a positive slope. It indicates a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Expectations to the law of supply. Following are the exceptions to the law of supply. First, supply of labor. Labor supply is the total number of hours that workers to work at a given wage rate. It is represented graphically by a supply curve in case of labor. As the wage rate rises, the supply of labor would increase. So supply curve slopes upward. Supply of labors, which is hours of work, falls with a further rise in wage rate, and supply curve of labor bends backward. This is because the worker would prefer leisure to work after receiving higher amount of wages. Thus, after a certain point when wage rate rises, the supply of labor tends to fall. It can be explained with the help of a backward bending supply curve. Table number 4.4 and figure number 4.5 explains the backward bending supply curve of labor.